Hey, I mean, I know I don't get very many views, but yeah, it's alright. I do this mainly to vent, but been watching a few things, talking to a few people, and I got to thinking. I've raised numerous kids, um, most of them not my own. I only have two of my own, of all races, and I've told them all the same thing about dealing with cops is treat people with respect, and they'll most likely treat you with respect. See, here's the thing though. I tell them that about teachers. I tell them that about bosses. I tell them that about customers at their jobs or um, waiters and waitresses, whenever they go out. I mean, you speak to people with respect. Even if you have a conflict, you speak to them with respect. People tend to treat you with respect. Even if initially they have attitude or whatever, you keep your cool, you stay chill, and you treat them with respect and speak to them with respect, they tend to reciprocate that respect. That doesn't always work, of course, but it tends to most of the time. I mean, I remember being young and a hothead, and my attitude getting me in trouble frequently. Um, and I had a situation where I wouldn't say I got beat up per se, but I was treated very, very rough by a police officer when I never said anything or did anything to show aggression or anything. I just acknowledged who I was, and he went into action and, you know, knocked stuff out of my arms with a billy club, slammed me up against the car using the billy club at the back of my neck, held me that way, um, yanking my arms behind my back. I was not fighting at all. I mean, I got knocked against the car and braced myself with my arms, so I didn't smash my face into the car. But that's the only thing I can think of that can be considered any kind of resistance. And I'm obviously a white dude. I mean, so was what? Why? Why did that happen? I mean, it wasn't race. I don't think he did it because I'm white. I think he did it because I was reported as a runaway at 16 years old, and that's why he came looking. He probably expected me to fight. Was it right on his part? No. I mean, should something have happened? Probably. But looking back, I mean, I can kind of understand him expecting a fight and wanting to get me cuffed up as fast as possible so that if I decided to, I'd be pinned up already and not be able to. And he was by himself. I kind, I kind of get that, but at the same time, it wasn't right. He hell, all he had to do was talk to me, and I'd have been like, damn, But not everybody's reasonable. I mean, I've seen it myself numerous times. Someone's being spoken to reasonably by a police officer, and then they act a fool. Attitude and aggression and all. And no, they may not physically try anything with the cop. They're voice, their tone, their demeanor says aggressive. So the cop's going to be very cautious around that person. Now, exactly, it's hard. It's hard to come up with a standard that's perfect because no situation is the same. I don't know. It's just, all I can think of is I've told all these kids, speak to cops with respect. Even if you're in trouble, speak to them with respect. They'll tend to treat you with respect. And so far, every single one of them has been through that and had that result where as long as they treat them with respect, they're treated with respect. Now, the outcome may not be what they want. They may not get a slap on the wrist. They may not get a warning ticket or whatever, but they're not arrested for no reason. They're not roughed up. You know what I mean? They're treated okay. And my daughter, she had the closest incident. The guy she was dating happened to be black. He happened to have a record, sort of. And she got pulled over. She was supposed to be arrested because she had a suspended license. She didn't know it. He had a warrant for his arrest, except for they had a digit on the social security number off, so they couldn't technically arrest him because the paperwork was, everything was the same except the social was one digit off, so they couldn't technically say it was him. But he's given all kinds of attitude to them, so they cuff him and set him on the curb. He's still hooting and hollering, and my daughter's trying to tell him, shut up. You're going to get yourself arrested, even if you should have gotten out of it. Just shut up. Quit yelling, quit screaming. He's trying to figure out what he's supposed to do, but if you keep acting up, he's going to have to put you in the car or something, and once you're in the car, he's going to have to protect himself because you're acting like you're going to fight him. And finally he calmed down, and the cop started speaking to him, asking him some questions. He finally started answering respectfully, and after 45 minutes of what he saw was harassment because he was being cuffed and set down and all of this stuff when he wasn't supposed to be, as soon as he calmed down, the cop was able to focus on figuring out what to do about his problem, not making sure that the kid wasn't going to fight him. Instead of worrying about his safety, he was able to focus on the problem of the guy, and he got it figured out, released him, and said, okay, this is what I found out, and uncuffed him, and then started talking to him and explaining to him what was going on. He didn't have any more problems after that. Had he spoken to him respectfully to begin with, he probably wouldn't have been cuffed and set on the curb in the first place. He was speaking aggressively and made the cop feel like he might have been in a little bit of danger. My daughter never was cuffed because she was being calm and respectful and everything, and the cop didn't feel like he was in any kind of danger. Is it perfect? No, but you're more likely to get out of so much possible trouble being respectful. And I don't care if it's cops, waiters, waitresses, cashiers, teachers, judges, wherever you're at and whoever you're dealing with, you're going to get so much further treating people with respect. than you will being an ass. Just my 2 cents. Hope it helps somebody. Anyway, peace.